Grumble, grumble. Hey everyone, it's the Grumpy Meeple, and I am coming back at you with something of a heartwarming video here from our beloved board game industry. And that is related to the fact that Euthia, Torment of Resurrection, is being resurrected. So I didn't cover this on the channel just because I just didn't get around to it, but I was very disappointed by it. So here's the story. A game called Euthia, backed on Kickstarter a couple years ago and delivered, and people loved it. It's been called kind of similar in nature to something like Diablo, which sounds incredible. And you can see in the image here that there are just piles and piles of awesome shit that come with the game. So it's kind of right up my alley. And they launched a reprint campaign on GameFound about 3 months ago. And the campaign funded and was at about $500,000, maybe a little bit more. And then it was unexpectedly canceled by the publisher, who basically came out and said, looking at the trends for funding and whatnot so far, we don't think we're going to be able to get enough money to really reprint this game and to do it right. There were a number of expansions that were being added to the game, and it's a big giant box game, miniatures game, where there are like pre-painted miniatures, I think, in some of the pledges and whatnot. And so they had to kill the campaign, and a lot of people were really upset with them, upset that it seems like the funding goal was maybe not super accurate, which welcome to crowdfunding. It never is. Upset that they canceled after having funded so much. $500,000 for one of these games is not an insignificant amount. And just sad that they weren't going to be able to get their hands on the game. And scalper copies of the game started just skyrocketing in value. And I myself was bummed because this just looked like a game that I was never going to be able to get my hands on. And that I thought that was that until like 2 days ago, when the news came out that Steamforged Game, the publisher of games such as Bardsong and God Tier, has worked out an agreement with Dia Games, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, to bring this game back from the dead, basically, and to put it back up on Kickstarter in what they're calling Euthia Resurrected, in a new campaign that's going to come with a couple of new expansions. And so I just am so excited about this, because now I'll be able to get my hands on this game, and I damn sure won't hesitate to back it before. I always intended to back the GameFound campaign, but I just hadn't gotten around to it, and by the time I went back to do it, it had been canceled, so I was super bummed. And so the campaign is relaunching on Kickstarter on July 26th, and I just couldn't be happier, and I wanted to give a little shout out to Steamforged Games, because it's really cool that they went out there and brought this game back to life and kind of gave the publisher, the creators of the game, a new lease on life, because they've come out and said basically that with the funding and backing of Steamforged Games, they're not only able to get this Euthia game out the door, but able to start functioning as a full-time, game development studio or whatnot. And I just think that's really cool and a really shrewd business move on Steamforged Games' part that also happens to kind of benefit the community and me personally, because I can get this game now. So that's all I had for now. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think about the resurrection of Euthia in the comments below, and I will talk to you later.